Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is match day 6 and this is our review. 6 out of 36 and we're heading into the main league right now. So I'll go straight into the EPL. We have Man City, Nottingham Forest. Man City won 2-0. We have Crystal Palace, Fulham with a goalless draw. We have Luton Town versus Wolves 1-1. We have Brentford, Everton, where Everton win away 3-1 to Brentford. We have Burnley, Man U narrow escape 1-0 to Burnley. We have Chelsea, Aston Villa. Chelsea lost at home to Aston Villa 1-0. We had Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2. A very entertaining match. We have Liverpool 3, West Ham 1, which is another good game for Liverpool. We have Brighton 3. We have Bournemouth 1. We have Sheffield United 0. And we have the biggest victory in the league for Newcastle 8-0. So before we go into the EPL, I would like to just go into some other leagues where we have Bayern Munich had another stunning victory where they had 7-0 in the league. Bayern Munich against Bochum 7-0. We have another victory to talk about where we have Sassuolo 4, Juventus 2. Good game for Sassuolo. Sassuolo was at home, a comfortable win for Sassuolo, and it was a good game at that. We have Barca and Celts Vigo where Barca won at home 3-2. Another game I will need to talk about. Barca comes from behind. A very good game. Solid side for Barca. Atletico Madrid 3, Madrid 1. Madrid first lost in this season, and we're going to digress on that one as well. Then we have PSG 4, Marseille 0. Another one I want to talk about because of the Niger boys. Napoli actually they lost 2 points in their match, which they had a goalless draw. So we'll be looking into the match in details, few of this match, because we will not be able to go into all the details because of our time. So let's start with Man City. So Man City had a very big setback in this particular fixture where they have Rodri being sent off in extending their winning in the Premiership. They had a good start, the win of their matches, but this one was a bit complicated because of the red card for Rodri was given. It was an emotional, it was not a tackle something, it was just in his emotion, and he actually misbehaved and gotten a red card, putting the Man City in a very complex situation. But they had to escape through with a goal from Foden and Haaland in the first half. The second half was a very difficult one for Man City. So because of our time, I go straight into the Man U. Fernandes with the outstanding volley, a good pass from Johnny Evers as well. Burnley was very disciplined, had a pattern and a good game style. You give a Man U a good fault, a team from the relegation to play Man U like that, it was really something to write home about. But Man U was actually, they were up to the fight, they get the goal. They've been knocking, Burnley as well was knocking on the goal. The two-touch was very great for them. They composed the game and controlled the game very well. But we had the Man U with much experience side where the ball had to come in from the defender to the man in the front, and Bruno had a very good volley to give Man U a winning start again in the league, for them to be able to have a little bit confidence in themselves. Let's see where they go from here. So from there, we'll be moving on to Chelsea, where we had Chelsea Aston Villa. Chelsea Aston Villa was another big loggerhead in the Premiership. Chelsea went down to the third Premier League table defeat this season as Aston Villa won 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. It's not something to write. I'm not really enjoying the shape of Chelsea right now. But the problem with this Chelsea team is I don't even think it's the coach right now, because I just feel like the pattern, and like I have said, they need somebody to put the ball at the back of the net. They've been playing very well. For me, they've been playing very well. Their keeper was good as well. Couple of saves for Sanchez as well. But they need somebody to convert chances. That's what's the problem of this team. So when you do, yeah, Jackson is good. You have a very good attacking mind. You have Sterling, but without all this preparation and there's nobody to convert it, you are going to have this kind of conversation where you are being down to other teams. Well, Melo Gustos was red carded in the second half, which actually makes the pressure more, and to the situation of things for Chelsea like this is nothing to write home about. Well, Atkins scored at the 73 minutes for Aston Villa, and they sealed the victory for the match. So another good game in the league was Arsenal and Tottenham. This was one of the most entertaining EPL games this weekend, which we enjoyed very well. Romero Ungo, Saka's kick, Morero tried to intercept with the ball, ending up the back of the net. Saka again, another penalty. And Son was actually equal to the task. A very good game for Maddison as well. Maddison very good in the midfield, very composed. Odega as well. Gabriel Jesus, maybe because he was played out of position, I didn't get much of him. But it was a good game as well. Very, very good, entertaining game. And we need to start seeing Tottenham from the other side right now. They've defeated Manchester United, and now they went straight into the Emirates Stadium, one of the biggest teams in the Premiership, and doing well to go and have a draw in a London derby. Kudos to Tottenham on that. Let's move on to the next one so that we don't take much of your time. Then we have Liverpool, West Ham. Liverpool has been doing really, really well this time around. Very, very well composed. I enjoy their the way they move around. Salah is in his form right now, so it's giving them a much composure, balance, and everything. Another person to even talk about is Danny Nunes. Danny Nunes has revolved into this striking position this time around. That it gives them this confidence to match forward. He can even move the ball himself. So, and Danny Nunes is having his 4th goal this season. Come to think of it, and he's coming from the bench. So I think club should just digress and give the guy his own chance as well. Well, while the penalty goes from Salah, we have Nunes and we have Jota. Then we have Bowen for West Ham. A very, very good game. Securing their victory with 3-1 is not something to write home about in the Premiership now. You can't even write anything down at this moment because everybody is trying to get something for itself. So kudos to Liverpool with their winning runs. But before we wrap up, let's just go into Brighton before we wrap up the EPL because I still want to talk about it. So let's just go into Brighton, where we have Brighton win 3-1 against Bournemouth. Brighton going behind in the game was something, a mistake from the goalkeeper, and Solanke had to put it in the back of the net. But the good part of this match was Roberto Di Zagre was very, very inspired to bring in Mitoma. Mitoma that actually come into the game, changed the game, scored 2 goals, and even at the kicker was an home goal for them, and it was a really good goal for them. Mitoma came in and actually sinking Bournemouth. They did what they need to do. They showed that they are a very, very competitive team, and they showed that they deserve to be in the top 4 table as it is right now. So before we talked about the other leagues, let's reflect back on the situation of Chelsea and Man U. These teams are teams that people I don't know, people sometimes, banter aside, people really want to see them do well because of the kind of player they have. But the situation out there is just that is worrying when you have a team like Chelsea being in that position of the league, as well as the same thing at Man U. So we leave that aside for their coaches and the management to do the justice. Let's go into another good game for the Newcastle. They did so well, and this is one of the biggest victory in the Premier League and the biggest victory for Newcastle as well. 8-0 goes around every minute in the match. Newcastle dominating, coming back into winning form. Let's see what they have to come out with at the end of the day, because they've not been in the balance. I think they've lost their strength, just like Man U trying to find their steps coming back into the game. But with this kind of numbers of margin of victory, I feel like they are back into the league, and let's see the fights they want to put up. 2 straight to Bayern Munich. They had another stunning victory in the Bundesliga. They win 7-0, where Kane got his hat-trick. The light from the back actually had a goal. We had seen as well, coupled with the goals he scored in the Champions League against Manchester United, and we have Tell repeating another goal again. And the first person to open the goal scoring chart for Bayern Munich was Choupo-Moting, our brother from Cameroon. A very controlled game by Bayern Munich. They were so relaxed. They were on the ball. They didn't give Bruno's chance to even do anything in that game. So it was just in their control. Harry Kane, I think this is Harry Kane's first hat-trick in Bayern Munich, maintaining their unbeaten run in the Bundesliga, and is giving them the face they want to be. Tuchel boys are really, really dominating the league right now. Looking at the Tuchel we have at Chelsea, and we are now seeing that in the Bayern side. So let's talk about the defeat I was talking about in the Serie A, where we have Sassuolo beating Juventus 4-2, which something that was not a game that I was even looking at in the first place, because if it was Union Berlin now, I would have said, okay, yes, it is well, but the game was out of control for the Juventus. Sassuolo actually played them like a bigger team. They played them like that. Juventus had to struggle. I know they've been having injury issues and a couple of issues with some of their midfielders and every other thing, but as a big team, you just have to find a way to balance your situations and get the result. But this time around, the result was not for Juve, it was for Sassuolo. Straight up, another victory for Barcelona, which this one was some kind of a fight. They need to fight for it. They were 2 goals down. Lewandowski had to score the brace, and Cancelo had to secure a late win for them. I think this is where we draw the margin with teams that are doing better, regardless of the margin, regardless of how they've played. They actually started scoring at the 81 minutes, and between those space of that time, they had to score 3 goals for them to secure their 3 points. Lewandowski 2 goals, Cancelo 1 goal to give them the victory, while Larsson scored for Celts Vigo and Julius Laxey for at the 78th minute for Celts Vigo. They did very well. They played very well. They lose a couple of goals as well, which they were supposed to bury the game like 4-0 before Barca even grow into the game. But they lost their composure. Barca gaining straight into the game. De Jong was a very, very inspirational midfielder in that game. Had to sit back, allow people play, and send the long ball into the play. Gavi as well and other Barca players contribute to the winning as well. Atletico Madrid was another derby and another brainer, another eye opener. Madrid has not lost. This is their first lose, where they lose 3-1 to Atletico Madrid at home. Morata, the boys from the hood, scored 2 goals against Madrid at the brace. Griezmann as well. Anthony Cruz trying to find Madrid the balance to come back into the game, but they could not match the energy. All goals that were scored against Madrid were headers, and that is the area where I feel like Ancelotti needs to look into, because all 3 goals shouldn't be scored by there should be a disconnection between the defenders and the striker, but it's very, very difficult tie for the keeper to even save an header. We all know that one at the first place. So I will leave guys with you. Let's talk about PSG winning 4-0 against Olympique Marseille. Another big game. Come to think of it, Hakimi has been scoring lately these days. Yeah, we have Koulibaly scores, and we have Ramos, the new striker for PSG. So guys, I don't want to take too much of your time. Please, if you're just new on this channel, please like, subscribe.